Forge strength through adversity. They told you life would be fair, that if you did the right things, you'd get the right results. But the truth is harsher. The truth is the forge. The truth is the fire that burns away the weak metal of your excuses and temper your will into something unbreakable. Look around you. History does not celebrate the comfortable. It honors the ones who walked willingly into pain, who used every obstacle as a whetstone for their spirit. Edison failed 10,000 times to make the light bulb because the man refused to surrender to the dark. Lincoln suffered crushing defeats, loss, and mockery because he refused to bow before despair. Carnegie arrived in America a poor immigrant boy, worked in dirty factories, and dreamed beyond his station because he refused to be chained to his circumstance. Adversity is not your enemy. It is your invitation. It is the ancient rite of passage to greatness. It asks, will you break, or will you become unbreakable? Stop cursing your hardships. Stop praying for the path to be easy. Pray instead for the strength to endure it. Pray for the clarity to see the lesson behind every setback. Pray for the will to rise when your knees buckle under the weight, because the world will not hand you success out of pity. It doesn't care about your intentions. It rewards only the ones who prove they can bear its trials. You must decide. Will you be the clay that crumbles in the kiln or the steel that grows stronger in the flame? Your mind is the first battlefield. Every limiting belief you hold is a shackle. Every doubt, a parasite feeding on your potential. You must hunt them ruthlessly. Root them out like weeds choking your harvest. Tell me, do you believe you are capable? Not wish, not hope. Believe. Because belief is not some weak affirmation in the mirror. Belief is the unspoken contract you make with yourself that no matter what happens, you will find a way. You will become the person who deserves the outcome. Henry Ford once said, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Understand the gravity of those words. Your life bends to the shape of your thoughts. Your beliefs are architects of your fate. So choose wisely what you feed your mind. Choose discipline over distraction. Choose vision over cynicism. Choose growth over stagnation, because your thoughts precede your actions, and your actions carve your destiny. You think champions are born? No, they're made. Made in lonely hours of practice when no one applauds. Made in the moments they failed publicly, but refused to quit. Made in the silence when doubt screamed loudest, and they chose to move anyway. Adversity will visit you. It is not optional. You will face loss, betrayal, failure. But suffering is the tuition for wisdom. It's the fee life charges to teach you the truth about yourself. And only those willing to pay in pain discover their power. There will be days you want to give up. Nights you will doubt everything you're doing. In those moments, remember this. The only people who fail permanently are the ones who stop. As long as you keep going, failure is never the final word. Clarity is your compass. Without it, you're just drifting. Don't wander aimlessly hoping life will deliver you somewhere good. Decide what you want with terrifying specificity. Define it so clearly it haunts you. Carve your goals into your mind so deeply they become obsessions, because a man with a clear purpose is unstoppable. Purpose gives meaning to pain. It transforms suffering into sacrifice. It turns obstacles into opportunities. When you know why you're doing something, you can endure almost anything. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Imagine that. He went bankrupt, was fired and betrayed, but he had a vision no one could steal. A dream so vivid it outlasted rejection. He built an empire from his failures because he refused to surrender to them. What's your vision? Don't tell me it's small. Don't insult your potential with modest goals designed to avoid disappointment. Dream audaciously. Plan obsessively. Act relentlessly. But remember this, vision without discipline is delusion. The world is full of dreamers who never put in the work. Don't join them. Discipline is the bridge between desire and reality. It's waking up early when you want to sleep. It's saying no to pleasure that doesn't serve your purpose. It's doing what you promised yourself long after the mood is gone. Andrew Carnegie didn't become the richest man of his era by hoping steel would smelt itself. He worked, he learned, he negotiated, he took risks, he sacrificed, he made decisions others feared, and he did it daily, relentlessly. If you want anything meaningful, understand this: you must earn it, not once, but every day. The world doesn't care about your excuses. It respects only results, and results are the consequence of disciplined action. Action is the cure for fear. You can study, plan, and visualize forever, but until you move, nothing changes. Don't let perfectionism paralyze you. You will never feel ready. Take the step anyway. Confidence is built by doing, not by waiting. When you act in the face of fear, you train your mind to obey you, not your doubts. Every time you choose courage over comfort, you strengthen the muscle of resilience. And resilience is what separates the ones who achieve from those who only dream. Life will knock you down. That's not personal. It's universal. The question is not whether you will fall, but whether you will rise, again and again and again, because there is no final defeat unless you accept it. Resilience is not about being unhurt. It's about refusing to stay hurt. It's looking at your scars and seeing them as badges of survival, not shame. It's telling yourself, if I endured that, I can endure this. Consider Abraham Lincoln. He lost elections, lost the woman he loved, suffered from depression so deep he wrote suicide notes. Yet he held the Union together through its bloodiest trial. Why? Because he believed in something bigger than himself. Because he understood that adversity is the crucible that reveals character. You want to know who you really are? Don't look in the mirror on your best day. Look at yourself in crisis. That is the true test. That is when your values are proven or abandoned. That is when you decide if you will be a victim of circumstance or the master of your fate. Adversity is the invitation to become the person you claim you want to be. Now listen carefully, because this part is what breaks most people. They want the victory without the battle. They want the lesson without the test. They want the transformation without the trial. But nature doesn't work like that. A seed does not become a tree without splitting open. A sword is not forged without fire and hammer. A champion is not crowned without bruises, sweat, and blood. So why should you expect any different? The moment you understand that adversity is not a punishment, but a preparation, everything changes. You stop resenting the hard times and start respecting them. You see the struggle not as an obstacle, but as the path itself. You want to build mental strength, face fear deliberately, step into discomfort, expose yourself to challenges until they lose their power over you. Growth and comfort do not coexist. That's the truth most won't admit. They want the easy pill. They want the secret hack. But the real secret is there is no shortcut. It's daily, grinding effort. It's refusing to stay down. It's showing up for yourself when no one else will. And here's something else. You cannot outsource your transformation. No one can do the push-ups for you. No one can build your mindset for you. No one can develop your discipline for you. You must do it. You alone. It's not a tragedy that life is hard. The tragedy is when people choose to remain soft because of it. Look at the greats. Thomas Edison worked 20-hour days. He slept in his lab. He failed more times than most people even try. When asked about those thousands of failures, he didn't say, "I failed." He said, "I found 10,000 ways that didn't work." That's the mentality. Failure is not the enemy. Quitting is. Fear is not the enemy. Inaction is. Pain is not the enemy. Avoidance is. Because when you refuse to act, when you refuse to confront the pain, you give it power over you. You remain its prisoner. But when you turn toward it, when you face it with open eyes and steady heart, that's liberation. That's mastery. Understand this. Your comfort zone is a cage with golden bars. It feels safe, but it's killing your potential. You weren't born to sit in a padded cell of safety. You were born to test your limits, to discover what you're made of. But you will never know what you're capable of until you willingly walk into uncertainty. And don't think adversity is just external. The harshest battles are always internal. It's the war against laziness, against doubt, against procrastination, against your own excuses. Those enemies are cunning. They speak in your own voice. They tell you it's okay to skip today, that you deserve a break, that you can do it later. But later becomes never. You must become vigilant, ruthless with your own weaknesses, not because you hate yourself, but because you love yourself enough to demand more. You see, most people's problem is not that they aim too high and miss. It's that they aim too low and hit. They set goals that don't challenge them, so they never grow. They avoid anything hard because they fear failing, so they fail by default. But not you. You are here because you refuse to be average. You refuse to let your potential rot unused. That means you must live differently. When others make excuses, you take ownership. When others seek comfort, you seek challenge. When others complain, you find solutions. When others quit, you adapt and continue, because you know adversity isn't there to stop you. It's there to prepare you, to refine you, to make you worthy of the rewards you seek. You want wealth. Earn it by creating value. No one else dares to. You want mastery. Train when others rest. Study when others waste time. You want respect. Act with integrity, even when no one is watching. You want freedom. Discipline yourself until your habits serve you automatically. This is the contract life offers. Suffer now to succeed later, or indulge now and suffer forever. You choose. Don't wait for motivation. Motivation is fleeting. Discipline is reliable. Don't wait for permission. No one is coming to save you. Don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't exist. The conditions are perfect when you decide to act anyway. That is the power you have. If you want to see change, you must be the change. Not in some empty slogan sense, but in the daily grind of choices that shape who you are. No one remembers the comfortable. No statues are built for those who avoided difficulty. History honors the ones who stood firm when it was hard, who walked through fire and came out steel, because they proved that adversity is not a death sentence. It is a birthright, the rite of passage to greatness. You want strength. Stop asking for life to be easier. Start demanding more of yourself. Say to life, "Give me your worst, and watch me rise," because there is no story worth telling without conflict, no achievement worth celebrating without sacrifice. Your scars are not shameful. They are symbols of survival, of effort, of life fully lived. They mean you tried, that you didn't sit safely on the sidelines, criticizing those who dared. So stop hiding them. Wear them proudly, because they prove you are not made of glass. You are forged from something stronger. Adversity is not the end. It's the beginning of who you're meant to become. So welcome it, embrace it, use it, because the world is not changed by those who shrink from challenge. It is changed by those who run toward it, and in doing so, become unbreakable. Keep listening, because if you truly want to understand what it means to forge strength through adversity, you have to strip away the illusions. Strength is not found in comfort. Strength is not found in the applause of others. Strength is not found in easy victories that cost you nothing. It is built when you are alone with your thoughts at midnight, wrestling with your fears, and you choose to get up anyway. It is built when you are knocked to your knees, and the only thing pushing you to rise again is that quiet voice inside whispering, "Not yet." This is not where it ends. Strength is built in rejection, in betrayal, in heartbreak, in failure so spectacular that it humiliates you in front of the world, and then in refusing to let that moment define you. Think of all those icons we admire, not for their wealth, but for what they endured. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. He walked out without bitterness, determined to unify a nation. Viktor Frankl survived Auschwitz and wrote Man's Search for Meaning, because even in the face of horror he believed man's last freedom was to choose his response. Helen Keller was deaf and blind, but learned to speak, to write, to inspire. These people had every reason to give up, every justification to surrender, but they refused. Why? Because adversity revealed to them that the power to shape their lives was not in circumstances, but in their response to them. You can't always control what happens to you, but you can always control what you do with it. You can choose to turn pain into purpose. You can choose to turn fear into fuel. You can choose to turn doubt into determination, but you have to choose it deliberately, daily, relentlessly. And don't think this is easy. Don't think it's supposed to be. Your mind will resist. It will crave the easy path. It will whisper that you don't have what it takes, that it's too late, that you should just settle. Ignore it, because that voice isn't your conscience. It's your comfort. It's the voice of your past, terrified you might outgrow it. You want to silence it. Then move. Take action. Even imperfect action is better than standing still in fear, because action creates momentum, and momentum destroys doubt. You will make mistakes. Good. That's how you learn. You will fail. Excellent. That's how you find the edge of your ability, so you can push beyond it. You will be rejected. Perfect. That means you tried for something worth wanting. Stop praying for life to remove the obstacles. Pray for the strength to climb over them. Stop wishing for no hardship. Wish for the endurance to outlast it, because that's the real treasure adversity offers you. The unshakable knowledge that you can survive it. And once you know that, you become dangerous, because then you fear nothing, and the world cannot control someone who does not fear adversity. Do you know why so many people remain average? It's not lack of talent. It's not bad luck. It's that they never demanded enough of themselves. They tolerated their own excuses. They sold their dreams for comfort. They chose the illusion of safety over the risk of greatness. But you are not one of them, or you wouldn't be here listening. You know you have more in you. You can feel it. That restless ache in your gut that says this is not all I am meant to be. Honor that voice. Don't smother it with distraction. Don't drown it in cheap pleasures. Sit with it. Let it burn, because that burn is your potential demanding expression. It's your spirit refusing to die quietly in mediocrity. Listen to it, use it, and don't think you must do it all at once. Greatness is not built in one day. It is the result of thousands of small disciplined choices. It is forged one setback at a time. One early morning when you didn't want to get up. 1 hour of study when your friends were partying. 1 extra rep in the gym when your body screamed no. 1 difficult conversation you chose to have instead of avoiding. 1 risk you took when fear told you to stay safe. Those choices compound. Those choices build character. Those choices forge you. You don't get to skip the process. You don't get to buy it on sale. You earn it with sweat and scars and sacrifice. That's what makes it valuable. If it were easy, everyone would have it. But not everyone does. Most people surrender. Most people break. Most people hide. But you will not. Because you know this truth, adversity is not the enemy. It is the invitation to become someone worthy of the life you want. Accept it. Embrace it. Rise to it. Because that is how you forge strength through adversity. Let's keep going. Stay with me. Because here's the next truth most won't say out loud. You don't deserve success just because you want it. Desire is cheap. Everyone wants to be rich, respected, admired. Everyone wants freedom, power, security. But most are unwilling to pay the price. And the price is pain. Pain of discipline. Pain of rejection. Pain of sacrifice. Pain of uncertainty. Pain of repeated failure. People flee from pain, and so they flee from their own greatness, but not you. You're here to learn how to turn that pain into power. You're here to learn the ancient art of transmutation, to take the raw, ugly material of hardship and forge it into strength, wisdom, resilience. Because that's what adversity is, raw material. Life will hand you lumps of coal. It's up to you to decide if you'll just get your hands dirty, complaining about them, or compress them into diamonds through relentless pressure. You want respect, earn it by refusing to quit. You want mastery, earn it by failing more times than others even try. You want freedom, earn it by doing what others won't, so you can live how others can't. It's not supposed to be fair. It's supposed to test you, because the test is what proves you are ready. And you don't rise to the level of your dreams. You fall to the level of your training. So train. Train your mind to reject excuses. Train your body to endure discomfort. Train your emotions to remain steady in chaos. Train your spirit to choose courage over fear. This is not some pretty self-help mantra. This is the only way, and yes, you will suffer. But suffering alone is not noble. It is what you do with it that counts. Some let suffering break them, others let it shape them. You must decide, because adversity offers you two paths: become bitter or become better. There is no third option. Do not let pain make you small. Let it make you sharp. Do not let failure make you afraid. Let it make you informed. Do not let rejection make you timid. Let it make you resilient. If you can learn to welcome adversity as your teacher, you will become unstoppable, because there is no situation so bad you cannot extract value from it, no loss so devastating you cannot learn from it, no failure so complete that you cannot begin again. This is what the strongest know. They know that life will test you in ways you did not choose and do not deserve. But they also know this: you are not defined by what happens to you. You are defined by how you respond. If you want to change your life, you must first change your relationship with adversity. Stop seeing it as the reason you can't. Start seeing it as the reason you must, because that shift changes everything. When the world says you can't, you say, "Watch me." When your own mind says this is too hard, you say, "Good. I am built for hard things." When you fail, you don't say, "I'm done." You say, "I'm not done yet." This is how you build the rarest kind of strength, self-belief that cannot be shaken by circumstances. And understand this: adversity doesn't just build your mind and body. It builds your character. It shows you what your values truly are. Anyone can be kind when it's easy. Anyone can be ethical when it costs nothing. Anyone can be patient when everything is going their way. But what about when you're under pressure? When you're tired, angry, disappointed? That is when your true self is revealed. And that is why adversity is sacred. Because it gives you the chance to prove to yourself who you are. It asks, will you live by your values when they cost you something? Will you keep your word when it's inconvenient? Will you stand for what's right when it's unpopular? Will you persevere when you're exhausted? Will you love yourself enough to keep going when no one else believes in you? These are the questions adversity asks, and every time you answer with action, you strengthen your character. You become the kind of person who can be trusted by others, but more importantly, by yourself. Because trust in yourself is the foundation of all achievement. If you don't believe you'll do what you say you will, how can you expect anyone else to? Your reputation with the world is built on your reputation with yourself, and that reputation is forged, like steel, in fire. So welcome the fire, welcome the struggle, welcome the nights you want to give up, because those are the moments when your future is being decided. Not by fate, not by luck, but by you, by your choices, by your refusal to be defeated, by your determination to earn the life you want, no matter what it costs. This is what it means to forge strength through adversity, not to avoid pain, but to use it, to let it carve away what is weak, and leave only what is true, to transform from victim to victor, from ordinary to exceptional, from fragile to unbreakable, because in the end, adversity doesn't destroy you, it reveals you. It shows you to yourself, stripped bare of illusions, and it asks one final question: is this who you want to be? Then answer that question now. Look at the life you're living. Look at the habits you keep. Look at the standards you accept. Is this who you want to be? Because that's the raw truth. Adversity forces you to confront. It rips away your justifications. It exposes your complacency. It shines an unrelenting light on the gap between who you are and who you could be, and it dares you to close it. But closing that gap is not for the timid. It requires you to sacrifice what is comfortable for what is meaningful. It demands you bury the old self that clings to ease, to approval, to mediocrity. It insists you be willing to pay the price of transformation. What is that price? Humility. Humility to admit you don't know it all. Humility to be a beginner. Humility to fail publicly. Discipline. Discipline to show up when you don't feel like it. Discipline to do the work even when there's no reward yet. Discipline to keep your word to yourself. Courage. Courage to face the unknown. Courage to risk ridicule. Courage to lose what you have for the chance to gain what you want. Patience. Patience to endure the long nights with no sign of success. Patience to keep going when others quit. Patience to let the process work. That is the real cost. And most are not willing to pay it. They'd rather stay safe in the cocoon of good enough. But you're here because you want more. And you know that more doesn't come to the deserving. It comes to the determined. So ask yourself again, is this who you want to be? If not, then decide, truly decide, to change it. Not tomorrow, not next year. Now, decide that adversity will not be your excuse. It will be your advantage. Because once you see it that way, you reclaim your power. You stop being life's victim. You become life's student. Every setback becomes a lesson. Every failure becomes feedback. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity to grow. This is not romantic. It is brutal. It is honest. But it is liberating. Because once you realize you can survive anything, you fear nothing. And the man who fears nothing cannot be controlled. He is free. Free to think as he chooses. Free to act as he decides. Free to pursue what truly matters. That is the promise adversity holds for you. If you accept it, it will hurt you, but it will also heal you. It will strip you bare, but it will also rebuild you. It will demand everything you have, but it will give you back more than you imagined. Because adversity is not here to defeat you. It is here to prepare you. Prepare you for the responsibilities of success. Prepare you for the weight of leadership. Prepare you for the loneliness of standing for what's right. Prepare you for the complexity of freedom. Because freedom is not the absence of hardship. It is the mastery of self in the midst of hardship. It is the ability to choose your path despite the obstacles. It is the strength to keep your principles despite the temptations. It is the courage to risk loss in the pursuit of truth. That is what adversity offers you, if you have the eyes to see it. But you must choose it. You must choose to lean in when everything in you wants to run. You must choose to try again when everything in you screams to quit. You must choose to believe in yourself when no one else will. And you must choose to act, because belief without action is fantasy. Knowledge without action is wasted. Potential without action is regret. So act, not once, but relentlessly, daily, until who you are aligns with who you want to be, until your thoughts, words, and deeds become one unbroken chain of integrity, until you can look in the mirror without flinching. That is the reward. Not money, though it may come. Not applause, though it may follow. Not ease, though it may arrive later. The true reward is respect, self-respect, the unshakable knowledge that you did not betray yourself, that you did not shrink, that you stood firm, that you faced life's hardest tests and refused to bow, that you earned the right to say, "This is who I am," not given, earned. That is what adversity demands, and that is what it gives in return. So the next time you feel the weight of the world pressing on your shoulders, smile, not because it is easy, but because you know, this is the forge. This is where you are remade. This is where the soft metal of excuses is burned away. This is where the brittle iron of fear is hammered into steel. This is where you become the weapon life needs you to be. A weapon for your dreams, a weapon for your family, a weapon for the truth, not to destroy, but to build, not to conquer others, but to conquer yourself. Because once you have conquered yourself, there is nothing left to fear. And that, my friend, is freedom. That is strength. That is what it means to forge strength through adversity. So go, face it, welcome it, use it, become who you were meant to be. Because the world doesn't need another victim. It needs you. Unbreakable.